And in this current market, if you do get him for whatever it is, 60 million or 65 million with add-ons, that seems like good value to me.
How are we, fellow Reds? You're back with me, Spen, and Chaz. It's been a little while after the World Cup and a little break, but United are back. We can become red again instead of gold, and we can get right into it. Really, really excited today to preview Hull that's coming up at the weekend, but also look back on pre-season and all of this transfer activity, Chaz. But yeah, we'll save that. We'll save that. But good to see you. We're back. We're back to talk United, where we belong. How's things?
Yeah, good. Excited for the season to start again. Like, obviously, Scotland didn't win the World Cup, so it's nice to focus on some positive football again. So yeah, excited for the season. Like, some concerns, but yeah, just happy to get the Premier League back.
Just so you don't lose complete credibility, please will you just tell the audience that you didn't actually think that Scotland were going to win the World Cup? You're not going to do it, are you? You know, to be fair to you, though, you did call Spain and they were actual world champions.
I did. Yeah. My prediction was correct.
He likes a joke, but he does know what he's talking about in terms of football. And sometimes he just gets a bit overexcited about Scotland, but we'll let him have that. Pre-season. So yeah, we had a bit of a break, and then my wife was like, football's back already, watching all these pre-season games.
I had that same question the other day.
Yeah.
Already?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
It never ends, and I'm very happy. Let's look across the pre-season then, Chaz, just generally now, before obviously we look at the season to come. So, Wrexham, we got beat 1-0. We beat Rosenborg 5-0. Atletico Madrid, we won 2-1. PSG, we drew 1-1. Leeds, we drew 1-1 and won on penalties. And then AC Milan, Ruben Amorim's AC Milan, which we'll mention, we lost 4-2. Obviously, results in pre-season don't matter too much. It's more about how we're playing, you know, how it's looking, how new players are bedding in. But generally, Chaz, how did you find pre-season?
Obviously, the Wrexham one is almost like a non-event because it was basically a youth team and about 4,000 changes. And I think after that, there was a nice trajectory and things were looking good. And like the PSG game, we drew. I thought we were really good in that. Atletico, we looked decent and playing some nice stuff. And then it's kind of like tapered off a little bit, where you're hoping to be kind of peaking as the season starts, and now it's kind of dropped off. But then maybe that's just because the earlier games had everyone who's had a full preseason, so the fixtures all there. And then the last couple of games, it's been World Cup players coming back in who haven't had a preseason and have had a long summer. So maybe it's just that a bit of a, not necessarily like the tactics are wrong or anything crazy like that. It's just a bit of that the merging of the World Cup players, and maybe it's just slow things down because they're not quite at it as much as the players who have had a full preseason. So that's what I'm hoping. But yeah, it's kind of dipped off a little bit, which is not what we want. But there's been some really kind of nice football, and definitely Carrick showing a bit more how he wants to play this season, which is, I think, is a bit of a change to what we were doing last season, which again, I like that he's come in and kind of trying to build his own kind of structure and things like that. So yeah, it's mixed in terms of results, but I've seen a lot of positives in terms of the style of play. It's just, I'd rather have seen some of that more in the last couple of games. What do you think?
I totally agree. Yeah, I think it was always going to be a weird one with the World Cup, and luckily it's the same for all the other teams as well. I think Harry Maguire obviously didn't get his chance, and he kept referring to pre-season as just long because he's been there for something like 6 weeks. So it must be odd to have a bit of a core of youth and players who haven't made it internationally, and then obviously for the World Cup people to come back and try and bed in as well. So yeah, strange kind of setup, and I wasn't too bothered about the results. But as you said as well, some of the performances in spells I thought looked really nice. Like, we were playing the ball really well, moving the ball through midfield quite well. We'll talk about it in a minute, some of the newer lads as well. But at times I was thinking, oh, this is pretty nice, this Carrick ball that we're dealing with. But then at other times I thought, same old issues, frailties at the back, a lack of pace.
Yeah.
And again, I'm sure we'll come on to that when we discuss signings as well. So I'm left with a bit of a question mark around pre-season, and also probably a question mark because of our transfer activity. But, there were some things, some wonderful goals. Xerxes, where he kind of does 2 feints and drops
Yeah,
the
that's
keeper.
class.
That was
Yeah.
that was lovely. But he needs to do more than just pre-season, doesn't he? That man.
That's not his. As I said, Messi too, saying he's found his level when it's pre-season.
Yeah,
But hopefully, well, personally, I'd still rather he was sold. I think that maybe will still happen, like last minute kind of to Italy. But I just don't think he's able to produce that in a fast-paced Premier League game, as we've seen enough evidence now. But it was still nice to see him. He scored some nice goals. As ever, he does that kind of, can pop up with a really nice goal, great touches, like linking up really well, but he just doesn't do it enough to keep him, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's frustrating. Again, my daddy long leg reference, because there's stuff there. Do you know what I mean? And I think there is a player there, and I saw Rio Ferdinand in one of his videos call it out as well. But you can't just do it in moments, and you can't just do it in pre-season. Like, can we really rely on him, particularly if Sesko is going to be injured? I don't think so. So yeah, like you, I'm not sure how that's going to be. A couple of other things in pre-season, Chaz. Bruno missed 2 penalties consecutively. What?
Yeah, good planning from Bruno. He was like, I'll get them out of the way in these unnecessary games, and then he'll start banging them in against Hull. So yeah, it just makes perfect sense. Being a good captain and a good leader.
I like it. Just a little blip, was it?
Yeah, planned blip.
And not as many as we liked, but a couple of new signings on show. Let's start with the first one through the door, which was Santos. What do you think about him?
I'll be honest. I remember him playing for Chelsea and obviously seeing his name on team sheet and stuff like that, but never really. You don't really take in other players like when you're not linked to them, so you're not like watching him. But I've actually been really impressed with him. From what I've seen, like, I've not seen every 90 minutes of the pre-season games, but he looks decent, like tidy on the ball. Kind of, he again, not comparing to Carrick, but he isn't like a destroyer. But he's one who kind of shields well and kind of is in the right, occupies the right space.
Yeah.
That's how he defends well. So yeah, what I've seen of him, he looks good, and it's always a good sign when the club you're buying for fans are annoyed, and the Chelsea fans were annoyed that they sold him on the most part.
Yeah.
So yeah, didn't know much about him, wasn't particularly excited, but from what I've seen, I've liked him. You've seen more of him than me. So what do you think is?
I totally agree. I think he's slotted in really, really nicely. And obviously, remembering he's a younger player as well, who still needs more games under his belt. He's looked the part. I mean, what I'm worried about is if we don't sign somebody else around that position, there's going to be too much pressure on him to kind of come in and almost be Casemiro, which he's never going to be at his age. So he needs a chance, and he needs kind of some backup in terms of signings, which we'll come on to make sure that we don't kind of kill him, because, we can't have him playing in all of these tournaments as well and all of these competitions. So like having him in the squad. I think he's looked pretty tidy as well in pre-season, and I'm just hopeful now that we can bring somebody else in to try and support him as well. But
yeah,
moving on to a player that I've been very excited about during pre-season, Tielemans.
Yeah, I think I've said this before, like, and even not related, I think when we've had podcasts before, when we've been playing Villa and stuff, I've always been annoyed that we never signed him on the free transfer when he was away from Leicester, because he just seemed like a no-brainer. I still don't know why we didn't, but to get him now, when he's obviously got better since then, and he's like a proper quality player in the Premier League. He was probably Belgium's best player in the World Cup. And for 35 million, I think it's a fantastic signing. I think he suits us. And again, that's why I'm annoyed. We did sign him 3 years ago, whatever it was, 4 years ago, but he just looks right in a Man United kit. He looks good on the ball. I think him and Bruno will be really good together, like both really progressive. He has a big range of passing, and he has that kind of Mainu quality of just being calm on the ball, which I think in some of these games where it can be like frantic, I think him and Mainu could be really good, just kind of like just calm things down, keep the ball for a little bit, pass it around, and then when you need to release pressure, like we haven't necessarily had that. Maybe a slight second half last year with Mainu, but for years gone now, we've not had anyone who can kind of do that. And I think he is, he's very excited. And I know you're just as excited to see him as well.
Yeah, I mean, he actually said in recent interviews since he joined that there's been discussions before this window about him signing. And like you said, I don't know why that didn't happen, because it would have been even better to get him a little bit younger. But what a footballer. What a footballer. He's just, like you said, so calm on the ball. He's been connecting the play so well. And I'm just excited to have him. And Premier League signing of the season, do you reckon? So far?
Well, he's definitely up there for one of them for sure. Like, I think obviously the season will say, but when you're costing 35 million, like, you can't get anything for 35 million anymore. Like,
Yeah.
nothing. So to get a player of that quality, 35 million is, yeah, I think he'll be up there for signing of the season for sure.
Yeah.
Also, the thing that you mentioned, he obviously he can get a goal as well. So you just got to hope that, I can't remember, did Casemiro get 11 goals last year or something like that?
Around that 10,
maybe
yeah.
from set play. So hopefully Tielemans can maybe not get quite so many, but he can pick up some of that slack. Maybe Manu can get some more. Maybe Santos, he's quite tall, so maybe he can get a few headed. Like, just thinking about how we're replacing Casemiro. Like, can we spread the goals around a little bit from that side of things as well?
Yeah, and Belgium's captain as well, around some really big players.
Yeah.
So that's another thing that's nice to add to the squad. And what can you get for 35 million quid? As a Premier League team these days as well. So one to watch. A flag I've got around him is, as good as he is on the ball and as calm as he is on the ball, he does still lack a little bit of pace. And that's why I think even more so we need a Santos, or, ideally someone even more experienced to kind of support him in that midfield, because I do think if you've got players like Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw and Tielemans kind of around, I'm worried of some teams kind of cutting through us. We've got pace at times as well, because he doesn't.
I think you need legs.
That. Yeah, exactly. We need some legs around.
Which I think we'll obviously get to the transfer breaking news this morning, but that's the legs, right?
Yeah.
That's why I think because Manu doesn't have that pace and that quick ground cover. I don't think Santos does either. And I mean, obviously Tielemans doesn't. So that is the thing that's missing. And then you can pair this person with any of those, and then hopefully that will cover those games where, I know, I'm just thinking, well, Newcastle have sold their whole midfield, but normally if they hadn't sold Gomes and Tonali, like, that was one of those awful kind of physical, high paced games that we always just did awful in. And then that's the kind of thing what I was getting worried about would keep happening if there wasn't another player coming in. And it sounds like Baleba might be happening. And if it is, then he kind of does plug that gap, which was one of my main concerns of that kind of physicality in midfield.
Good few hints there, Chaz. Are you saying you're a believer? Yeah.
At the right price, I'd be a believer. Yeah. I don't know what the cost rumor is. I think it's like 60 million, which is obviously half what they wanted last season. So obviously he was awful last season, apparently. So there's a good player in there.
Hold that thought.
I am.
Hold that thought.
Yeah.
There's something to discuss. And then Groundhog Day, but not a new signing, but someone we need to discuss over pre-season. Rashford back and playing for Man United.
Yeah. Like I said, I've always said, and we said it on wherever it was last time we did one and discussed Rashford, it was like, if he comes back and stays, I'll back him 100%. Like, we'll support him, won't boo him. I'll never boo anyone who wears a United shirt. But my preference still would have been to sell him.
Yeah.
And I think there still could be a chance. I think they're kind of integrating him back in. They're playing him in pre-season. He'll probably be in the squad on Saturday. But I think that's almost just a shine to show everyone, like, you're not going to get him for free. We were happy to keep him, that type of thing. But I still think there'll be some last minute interest in him because he played well for Barca last season. He is kind of a goal threat. So I think there's teams out there who might still make a late bid, or they start the season badly, or a winger gets injured. Something might still happen. But yeah, like, it looks like at the moment he is going to stay.
Yeah.
And he is a good asset to have. Like, you can't argue with the attacking prowess. My concern is, as ever, is his attitude and essentially his tracking back. But he has a good relationship with Carrick, and Carrick has a good relationship with him. So maybe there's some mutual respect that will mean he runs a bit more from a defensive perspective.
Yeah, he put in a good challenge against Milan, and showed some desire there, but I'm not sure. I think it's all very timid with him being back. Like, he's not said anything. All the players kind of keep saying, Mazraoui literally said, if he stays, that's out of my hands and stuff.
Yeah.
I think everyone's thinking we need to wait for the transfer window to be over, because I could still see him going if the right offer comes through.
Yeah.
So
yeah, definitely. I think the plan was always that he was going to Barca, and then obviously United was shocked when he wasn't going to Barca. So yeah, I think the ultimate plan will be to get him off the books because his wages are crazy high. He doesn't deserve them based in the current squad kind of ecosystem of the wages and the settings. So you don't want the highest paid player at the club to be on the peripheries. So yeah, I think ideally I would like to sell him. I think United are the same still.
yeah, and surely if he really, really wanted it and he was like, right, Carrick, let's do it, like, he would just be a bit more committed in terms of, right, I'm staying. He'd probably come out and chat. He'd probably say,
yeah, do an interview.
Things have happened prior, but I'm here to. So yeah, I can't help but think that he's just waiting for the right opportunity to come out. But we'll see. We'll see. Like you said, if he does stick around and he really puts it in, there is a player there and he could definitely help us on that left side. But my bet is that he's going to be gone before the window's closed.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, then moving on to some of the things around pre-season. So you obviously want to avoid injuries as well. We had Sesko injured and Agate injured before pre-season. Obviously Agate during the World Cup.
Sesko worries me.
Yeah, same. I don't know what the shin issue is. That still from the hoardings that he ran into?
I think it must be something else.
Really?
Like that. I think because apparently that aggravated whatever it was.
Yeah.
So whether it's, I don't know, shin splints or something, because shin splints, you can't do anything. All you can do is rest them.
Yeah.
So that maybe it's just taking a long time, or they're being extra precautious because they don't want the shin splints to flare up again, or something other shin injury that I'm not aware of. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that is concerning, because like they kept saying, oh, he's training back on grass, but that was like a month ago that he was back on grass and he was looking absolutely stacked. So you're kind of thinking he's ready to go. Then he's not played a single minute.
Yeah.
So surely he's not available. But they're not going to throw straight in versus Hull. It makes you think, obviously they've been trying Cunha and Mbeumo there. It just makes you think, okay, they're setting the season up for him not starting. But the lack of communication is concerning on him.
Yeah, it's a disaster not to kind of have him and then not have a proper backup striker, isn't it, as well? I know that Cunha played through the middle for Brazil, and I know that Brian can play there, but neither of them are what we need and like how we play, is it? So I feel like if we know that Sesko is going to be out for a period of time, we extra need Danny Welbeck. I'm so good about that still, but like,
get it.
Yeah, I don't understand, but yeah, that's going to be a weird one. And a player that we haven't actually mentioned yet, who actually had a really good pre-season but got injured again, is Mason Mount.
But I thought when he got injured, it was like obviously it was like a tackle, a knock on the ankle, and then it was said it was precautionary, and then he walked through the mix zone and stuff and walked fine. So again, I'm just hoping they basically was like, okay, he's had most of a pre-season and he played most of the games and he had like the full time. So I'm thinking maybe they're just, rather risking him versus Milan, for example, and Leeds, they're just like, okay, let's just keep him on ice. He's got the fitness in the legs so then he can actually start the Premier League. That's what I'm hoping, because they're not again said it precautionary, it was a knock. So normally knocks and challenge like that, unless it breaks something, doesn't normally mean it's probably like a bruised ankle or foot or something. That's my hope, because like you said, he was looking decent in there, but all it comes back down to is like you cannot rely on him. Like you basically just have to have him as a bonus in your squad. Like if he's fit, great, he's a really good player to have around and to bring on and to start in cup matches and things like that. But you can't rely on him at all to play 10 games in a row, let alone like a full season. So I think you just have to go, which is also why I think we need to sign another midfielder. I don't know if they were thinking that he could be that extra midfielder, and then him getting injured is then gone, actually, no, we do need to buy someone because you can't rely on him. And we've got a few of those players in defence as well. That's the concern.
Yeah, we got a big old transfer section to talk about in a sec. But I heard rumours about Carrick kind of really liking him as a player and then potentially like rethinking his midfield plans based on that. But as you said, I definitely think there's a player in there, and he showed that during pre-season and at times last season. But just that injury record is enough to say you can't plan around him. And
No.
to your point, whether he can be a bit of a luxury squad addition, yeah, maybe, and he comes on at times, but we need more Brunos who are just like ever present. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We need that so much. I don't know, but a shame. But like, touch wood in terms of pre-season, the rest of the players seem to be kind of at least on the mend. Obviously, apart from Agate, who unfortunately is going to be out all season with that ACL, but probably was going to move on anyway if not. So planning without it. Two more things to mention for pre-season. Let's just have a quick chat about Ruben Amorim. Weird to see him back. Did you see him having a bit of a joke with some of the journalists about press conferences being boring now as well?
Yeah, I do miss me and boring. Like, to be fair, like, seems like he was chatting to the players and like, they all seem quite jokey and friendly, and which is obviously what you want. You don't want some. Obviously, he's probably going to be happier after the game because they probably won it.
Yeah.
That makes him a bit more smiley. But us losing 4-2 to Milan does not make me want him back in any regard at all.
Yeah.
So still good riddance to him.
Yeah. I saw him crouching on the touchline and thinking, oh, like PTSD a little bit.
yeah.
I think that he just summed it up. We really liked him as a fella, but then we didn't win games and we played awful stuff.
Yeah.
So best wishes to Ruben, but yeah, we've moved on. We've moved on. And then
definitely.
Last thing to mention, we know we like this, is let's talk about the new kits, Chaz, that we saw during pre-season. So we've got the home red one, we've got the blue away one, and then we've got this newer, is it like a cream with the 3 logos down the middle?
Yeah, it's like an off-whitey. Yeah.
What do you think? What's your favourite?
I'll be honest, none of them. Like, we've messaged about this separately. Like, Adidas is such a cool brand and does such cool stuff. And it seems to do cool stuff with other clubs.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. It just never quite, we've got so much history and we just don't ever seem to make a really cool kit. Like, obviously retro things are really kind of in fashion at the moment. So like, just go for it. Like I've seen other clubs do. So they're all just a bit like, it's part of the way there and it could be better. And I think that's just the way I kind of feel about all of them. Like, I guess the cream one could be really cool. But again, the logos are weird in the way, like the devil, I feel like, I can't remember exactly, like the devil's smaller, but the Snapdragon is too big and it just doesn't quite flow right. But the makings of the shirt is there.
Yeah.
So it's just a bit frustrating that I think they could have made really cool kits, even just based on what their inspirations were, but they've kind of been a bit too timid with it, I think.
Yeah, have you heard on the third kit as well, the cream one, that they're having to add Snapdragon for Champions League matches because you've got to keep your logo consistent across all your kits as well.
Oh, really?
So it's good. Yeah, it's like, it's almost there, but for some reason, like, I love United and love red, but I'm never that bothered about the home kit. It just kind of is what it is.
No.
I think the blue kit looks nice on the players, but I just really struggle to kind of
get behind blue.
Have a blue kit. And then, this off-white one was the one that I was most excited about, but just a bit too much. I was putting on Twitter the other day that I would just love to have seen, was it the trefoil instead of the 3 stripes?
Yeah, that would make it so much better.
And I was just almost pleading with Snapdragon. Could they just stay off one kit maybe? I mean, I know probably from a...
So just shrink it down a little bit or something.
I'll put it somewhere else.
50 million a year or something.
Yeah. But it's
also, like, I'm always a fan of the black kits.
Yeah.
And that's always the away kits, the like third kit being black or something like that is what I normally like. And obviously there isn't one this year. So yeah, they're just a bit there's some really nice kits out there and some really nice Adidas kits. And I just wonder, like, who's making these calls, and are they asking fans, and they're asking the wrong fans?
Well, I keep seeing the Adidas guy on the United channels just talking about how they came up with the design and stuff, and I get all that and I get the links, but just not hitting the mark for me. Like that new Forest, I've seen that Nottingham Forest kit, the green and the red is so nice. And I actually just bought a little Bayern Munich shirt as well, a training top, and Adidas one, so nice as well. So yeah, we've got
that Forest kit is really nice.
Nice, isn't it? And obviously they benefit from not having a sponsor at the minute as well, so it's nice and clean as well. But yeah, it's
really nice. Annoying.
But United, if you're listening, maybe send us some kits and try and change our mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, nice. Still looks good on the players. We still look the part, but just so close, but just not quite there, not quite there. But I did like the video actually for the third kit release. That's very good.
Yeah, yeah.
Very Manchester, which I liked as well. Right, less about kits, more about players. We'll talk about transfers, as we said. Just before we talk about who we want to get in the door, Bruno contract and silly bids from Galatasaray coming in and stuff like that potentially. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I was not worried at all. Like, I saw it, and I wasn't like discrediting it or anything like that. I think it was real interest. But like Bruno has said he wants to win trophies with United. This is probably the best shape the squad's been in.
Yeah.
Since in terms of just morale and everything, and it being a stable club. So I think I don't think he was even head was turned at all. And to go to Turkey, like, yeah, you got Champions League football. Obviously, I know they've got amazing fan bases and things like that, and they get paid mad money. But like, he's not going to win anything. Like, he could win 5 Turkish leagues or 1 Premier League.
Yeah,
he's going to choose that 1 Premier League.
Big
so
time.
I think that's why. Like, and he has mentioned a massive love for this club. So yeah, I was not concerned at all when I saw the rumours. I thought he's not a chance he's going anywhere.
Yeah, I agree. I think maybe it's his team making a bit of noise as well to try and get the contract, which, to be honest, I think he deserves. Like, he's obviously got 1 year left. He's kind of joint highest earner, I think, with Rashford at the moment. He deserves to be way and above the highest earner. I know we're being very strict with like what we offer players and stuff now, but yeah, Bruno needs rewarding accordingly, does he, for his loyalty, for his performances, for his ever present. Like, just give him the contract that, you know, he is Mr. Man United, and he should have a contract which basically celebrates that.
Yeah, 100% agree.
Right, we keep teasing. Let's get into transfers because this is what everyone is talking about. So obviously, at the minute, we've got Santos through the door, we've got Tielemans through the door, we've got Thompson from Spurs, Darlow from Leeds, a couple of other bits and pieces, but they're the main ones. But it's not enough, Chaz. But you hinted to it. Let's start with the one that looks close now, as of today when we're recording this. Baleba from Brighton.
Yeah, Ornstein has tweeted it. So if he's tweeting it, you know it's real and proper interest and stuff happening. So yeah, like, I think he's the type of player we need. And I don't think it's like one of those ones where he'd start every single game, because it's just, he need that energy for certain games, particularly like the bigger games where you need that kind of protection on those legs in the field. So I think he obviously had a rubbish season last year. I didn't see much of him and how bad he was, but he was getting taken off at halftime and things like that. So that obviously is a concern, but I think he had like 2 good seasons and 1 awful season. So it's like, okay, well, there's still more good evidence than there is bad.
Yeah.
And I'm sure obviously United have done, they seem to be a lot more selectful and strategic with their signings and the processes they're going through this season. So you got to assume if they are going for it, there's underlying data, there's conversations, everything still makes him a good signing. So yeah, I think it's a good signing essentially if it does all go through. Like, if you gave me the choice between Tchouaméni and Baleba, I'd choose Tchouaméni, obviously. But in terms of what's realistic out there, and if you can get him for 60 million, he was a £100 million player last year. So there still might be a huge amount of kind of gain in there. He's still only 22, I think he is.
Yeah.
So massive potential. And in this current market, if you do get him for whatever it is, 60 million or 65 million with add-ons, that seems like good value to me, because he's got such a high ceiling. So yeah, I'm excited for it if it does go through. The only thing I feel like he was injured, and I thought he was out for quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on with that, but I know you can still pass medicals based on when you're injured, things like that. So
yeah, I kind of share your excitement in terms of like, he's the right profile that we're looking for, and there's a lot of potential there. And if we can get him for a decent amount of money as well, then I'm happy with that. I think it's not really his fault. But where I'm a bit frustrated is obviously with bringing Santos in, who I know is not necessarily an out and out 6, but they're probably going to be competing for a similar place. And I wanted the other signing to kind of be a lot more proven and ready to go. Like, we've literally just lost Casemiro, and he's so difficult to replace. But I wanted someone to come in who has like probably a couple of years older for this position because we've needed it for ages. And maybe the centre-halves can play, a bit of understudy to this signing. But then with Baleba coming in, I guess they'll probably be fighting for a similar spot with Tielemans and Mainu, maybe even Mount next to them as well. So I'm just a bit confused in terms of how it's going to look and how it's going to shape up, and also just wanted that special signing. We were never going to sign Elliot Anderson.
Yeah.
I get that. But I don't know. He was a name where I was a bit like, yeah, we'll see. But at least it's somebody. And like I said, I will get excited and give him all the benefit of the doubt. But I'm just not sure if it's the one we need right now.
Yeah, I think the issue is that there's not that 1-2 out there. Obviously it was Anderson, and then probably Tchouaméni, and maybe
Kone?
Tonali or something like that, or something like that.
Yeah.
But Kone is not proven, never played the Premier League.
Yeah, fair.
So there's that risk there, and he's around the same sort of price, I think, or maybe a bit cheaper than Baleba. We can't spend 100 million on Tchouaméni because we didn't spend 100 million on, or try and spend 100 million on Anderson. And then like Fernandez one, I think he's not an 85 million pound player. So I think it's just the market's got so inflated with all these signings at the moment. I think if you can get it for that 60 million or between 60 and 70 million, it shows good value for a proven Premier League player. But yeah, I get what you mean in terms of you almost wanted that marquee signing to be like, I'm the midfielder, like, and everyone revolves around me.
Yeah.
But because we don't have £100 million to spend, I think that's the issue. And then also what I was thinking as well, if you had sold Rashford and you sold Agate, that's 50-ish to 70. Then you probably did have the money.
Yeah.
If we spend 60 million on Baleba and then you have another 50 million on top of that, then maybe you can go and get your Tchouaméni or at least test the market. But because of this unluckiness of Agate getting an ACL and then Rashford, Barca being knobheads, then yeah, I think it's also circumstance as well. But then if I was going to say, well, who could you go? Say Tchouaméni's not available. Obviously, Anson's gone. Who would you want to sign now then instead of Baleba?
I know, and it's a fair question. It's just, we're going to spot probably in the Premier League as well, one of these teams like a Brighton or a Brentford just pull out this absolute worldie that we end up signing again. And I know that doesn't give me my experienced name ready to rock player, but it just sometimes feels like the lazy option where some other club has done all the homework and got the player in, and then we end up taking him afterwards. And yeah, I just don't know. And I'm trying not to get kind of overly excited or carried away, because obviously we ended the last season really well. But I was thinking this, I wanted to pose a question to you, Chess, just generally in terms of signings. For me now, in terms of that 11, there are only a few guarantees, which is a worry. Laman's in there, definitely. And I'll come back to you, challenge me on this in a minute. And then back four for me, there's nobody guaranteed. In the middle of the pile, let's just say that too. At the minute, new signings, we're excited about Tielemans, so I'm going to give him a bit of a maybe he's half in there as a guaranteed player. Bruno, obviously. Cunha, obviously for me. And then Sesko, as much as I love him, he's still someone that's proven himself, and I'm sure he's going to be incredible. So he's kind of half in there. But then that leaves to me, basically, the right side of midfield is still something that's not been nailed down. Ahmad has some really good spells, and Brian's obviously had a decent pre-season with a couple of goals, but still there's question marks on him. Obviously next to Tielemans, and even Tielemans and there, we know Cobby's floating around, and I want him to be Mr. Man United, but still it's unsure. And then the whole back four for me, sick of Luke Shaw. Centre halves are either older or injured all the time, and right back is interchanging between Dalot, who does a job as like a squad player, but he's not the answer. So when I'm just looking at our transfer window and our net spend, which is obviously one of the lowest as well, and I know what Sir Jim's trying to do, just makes me a bit nervous, particularly when Olmar's talking about 2028 being when we're going to win the league.
Yeah.
There's too many unknowns and gaps for me. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm Sesko, I think he is, if he's fit, is the guaranteed starter. So I wouldn't say he's half in. I think he's definitely and rightfully that should be a starter. Cunha on the left, I agree. I think I'm not worried about the right side of the field. I think I quite like the battle between Ahmad and Brian, because it kind of puts pressure on them both to keep performing. So I think that's probably a good thing on that side. then I agree, obviously Bruno, I agree on the kind of the two. And yeah, I don't know what it will be. And I think it's because there's only minimum, I think 50 something games or around that. So there's enough there to everyone can get 20, 30 games.
Yeah.
Whatever those combinations are. So I'm not so worried about that. Defense, I am worried about it, but which annoyingly, like I think, or particularly centre backs, I'm actually really happy with the centre backs we have in terms of if they were all fit, I'd say it's probably the best set in the league. I think Arsenal have better, like, guaranteed startings, but I'd say our set of kind of Euro, Heaven, Maguire, De Ligt, Martinez is absolutely quality. But half of them are broken.
Yeah.
So there is a concern there. Because it's like, well, do you have to sign a centre back? And you're like, maybe, which is mad because we shouldn't have to based on who's there, but just the money and the players need to be on the pitch, right? And then, yeah, left back, that's I keep changing my mind between what was more important, a centre midfielder or the next centre midfielder or the left back.
Yeah.
I kind of almost, we definitely need to buy a left back. Is basically, we have to, even if we say we sign Baleba, like that can't be the business done. We have to sign a left back, in my opinion, because sure, Fair Play played 38 games last year, but he's not going to do it again.
Nah.
And he can't play 60 games. And then Dorgu's left winger now. Like, and I thought preseason, from what I saw of him, he looks decent as a left winger still. He just offers something different. He's just so much more direct and like slightly unpredictable. And then he scored like a worldie for Denmark in the summer as well. And like, so I think he's progressing, but progressing as a left midfielder. So I just think we need to sign a left back, and it's not going to be Lewis Hall. So this is when you need them to find the left back lemons, right?
Yeah.
That's what we need to do now.
Left back lemons.
Right. And there must be someone out there.
Yeah, there 100% is. And we just need that work a little bit more. You made some good points there, and maybe I am getting a bit too carried away, but yeah, it's just these injuries and these inconsistencies are just worrying me. And I 100%, if it's Baleba, fair enough, but that position definitely needs sorting out. Left back, absolutely. Just to at least, we know Shaw, has played quite consistently last season, but we know he's injury prone and we know he's aging as well. So Dorgu's not that player. We brought him in a different system, and fair enough. Like you say, very good player and very good squad player, but we need to finish this transfer window with at least those two players, and still for me, a backup striker for Sesko. That's a proper.
There must be someone on a free or like a cheap, obviously annoyingly, a Danny Welbeck, and there must be someone like abroad. Like there was that Vlahovic. I don't know where he went. He was on a free transfer, and he's quite a similar sort of player to Sesko, which would help the consistent style of play.
Yeah.
But again, he maybe doesn't want to be a second choice. But there must be someone out there. But then again, I'm trying to think of someone. I can't think of anyone.
Well,
obviously you got like Ollie Watkins and things like that, and Mateta. Like Mateta, I would really like. I think he's decent, and I've always quite liked him. But I don't know how much you're gonna have to spend on these players in this transfer window. Like, I don't see us spending 50 million, 60 million on another striker. Like, you need to be getting someone either some random old person that I can't think of. But even out there, because like number nines and strikers these days are so hard to find. So I don't know if there's any old boys out there.
Well, yeah, and the names I've heard. So you mentioned kind of Ollie Watkins. There's a rumor about him going to Saudi for 45 million euros.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which is maybe something to look at. Nicholas Jackson from Bayern Munich. Obviously Chelsea. That kind of he was out on loan there, wasn't he? So I wonder.
I think he is like being like a quality finisher away from scoring like 30 goals a season.
Yeah.
Because he always gets the positions. He just fluffs his lines like he's all the time. So yeah, I wouldn't be mad at him. But again, I don't know how much you're getting him for. I just don't think you're getting anyone of these players for 20 million or 30 million. Like, there's just no value in the market at the moment. Like, that's why I don't know what the free market was like. That's why I said Vlahovic, because he's the only proper striker who's a free transfer, but he's probably gone to Saudi or something for £7 million a week or something.
Well, a cheeky older player as well that there's some contract negotiations going on around is Harry Kane. Is it worth just a little tap up?
I would definitely take him. He's quite good.
Come back,
Yeah.
break the record in the Premier League.
I'm just going to check where Vlahovic has gone. Has he gone anywhere yet? No, he's gone to bloody Turkey, hasn't he? Of course he has.
Of course he has.
Yeah, he's gone to Besiktas. So they're obviously paying him insane money, which again is probably why we didn't look at him. So that's annoying.
But I know Sir Jim watches this podcast, every time we put one out. And so please, please don't let this window pass without at least a left back and DM and a striker. They're the three, because this is an opportunity. Look, Carrick won more points than anyone when he started. There's loads of potential there. We've made some decent signings in terms of Tielemans, and Santos as well is looking promising. But back the man, spend a bit of cash because now's the time. And then maybe next summer we can add one really special player to that and go and win the league. But don't miss this opportunity. We're fighting on all fronts again, back in the Champions League. This is the time to spend and plug some of those gaps properly.
And this is where the Glazers went wrong, is like, we got in the Champions League and then you look at the transfer windows, every time we got it back into the Champions League, they're always awful. And we sign no one and they don't invest. And then this, like you said, this is the time to invest because everyone else other than Arsenal is like in kind of instability season. So this is the time to, like, if you just have the same squad as we have now, which essentially is the same amount of players we had last season, I would be worried that we're going to drop out of the top 4 again because we're fighting all fronts because we don't have the squad depth. So they have to back him. Like, if they don't back him, like, what's the point of giving him the job? Like, what's the point of any of this? If you just, like, sometimes at some point you have to take a risk.
Yeah.
And if you're realistically trying to win the title next year, then you can't make that jump from what this squad currently is to winning the league by adding wherever the marquee signing is next summer because you don't have enough of the foundations in place. So hopefully he gets his checkbook out.
Come on, Jim. Write the checks. Because we're excited and it just needs to happen. Like, there's so much potential here for a great season, but let's just not waste it. But it is back, Jazz. Football's back. Premier League's back. Actually kicked off with Arsenal battering City in the Community Shield. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't think you never read too much into the Community Shield. Like, obviously, I like the signs in terms
You're clearly not an Arsenal
City
fan
being rubbish.
They were celebrating it like they won the Premier League again.
Yeah, God, they're awful. I'm really hopeful the interpretation of the rules is enforced for corners because that'll be really interesting to see because last season they weren't a good attacking team. They were a good set piece team. They've got an amazing defense, which is, I guess, Saliba's out, which is the other positive from our side. But their defense is incredible, which is what obviously title-winning teams are built on often. So they're going to be first or second, I would say, again this season. So it would be nice for us to be fighting with Arsenal like old school times. But based on the current transfer window, I'm not confident of that. But City, I think losing Rodri is massive. Like, he obviously just won the World Cup and was the player of the tournament. So to let him go and replace him with, like, I was worried about Anderson and Rodri being together in midfield because that would be scary. But now, obviously, it's not. And I think they're bringing in Buadi, who looked really good, but he's only 18. So yeah, I'm not confident. I'm hopeful there'll be a massive drop off
and a lot of charges to follow as well to just compound their misery.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah.
But first up for us, Hull away. How are you feeling? Let's go straight into it. Give me a prediction, Chaz.
Gotta be confident. Like, it's Hull. So,
lads,
like, obviously, I know it's first game of the season and newly promoted teams are always massively up for it. And the atmosphere will be amazing, that type of thing. But you've got to beat them. So I'm going to go 3-1. United. Goals from Brian to keep his goal scoring run up. Cunha, and then a Bruno well-placed penalty. And I don't know any Hull players, so I don't know who's scoring for them.
Well, also, they've got lots of injuries as well. So we're not even playing a kind of a full strength Hull. So yeah, I'm hoping we can get off to a strong start. I am going to be a bit more cautious. I'm going to say a 2-0. I'm going to go for Bruno to score as well, and Acuna on the score sheet. So we'll probably do what we did last season and put a quid or two on that as well, and back half predictions. But yeah, really want to get off to a strong start. Any question marks or thoughts on the lineup, Chaz? Anything he's going to do differently, or just more of the same from pre-season?
I think it'll be interesting to see what he does in defence. I feel like I think Yoro's had a good pre-season, even though he's kind of in a bit of right back, bit of a centre back. But like if you could start building a Heaven and Yoro partnership, which is solid, because they've got all the attributes to be kind of an incredible partnership. So I think maybe it'll be one of them with Maguire at centre back, and then it'll be Shaw, and it'll be I don't know, Dallo or Masrari.
Yeah.
Then I don't know who's going to put in the midfield. Maybe Tielemans and Santos, I guess, because mainly he's not really had much minutes yet. And then obviously Bruno's going to start. And then I'm guessing Sesko's not going to start. So I'm guessing you're going to have Cunha, Brian, and then Mbeumo. Or he'll do Dorgu, Cunha, and Mbeumo. Like, there's quite a lot of unknowns.
Yeah.
Which is quite exciting. Obviously, last game we were predicting the end of last season, it was like locked in every time. We knew exactly what was coming, other than injuries. So, yeah. Who's your starting defenders?
Well, it's totally different now, isn't it, as well? Because last season we just had one game a week to focus on, and he was really consistent. But like, he's going to have to start rotating as well with the Champions League and stuff as well. So, he's been playing Heaven quite a lot during pre-season, and I think he likes him. So I wouldn't be surprised if he actually starts Heaven and Maguire. Obviously, as the two, a bit of height as well, because probably Hull will try and utilise that as well. So I think maybe Heaven and Maguire for me.
Yeah. I can't be happy with any of them, to be fair.
Yeah, and
based on.
We'll be back in the regular rhythm as well of obviously doing reviews after matches and previews, and we'll bring Challenge Chaz back, but going to do something a little bit differently for this season kickoff, Chaz. Going to ask you for your season prediction. So we're starting off with a win. My first question is, where are Man United going to finish this season?
I'm going to go third again.
Third.
Yeah.
I'm going to agree with you. And who's going to be your top four in order?
Arsenal are going to win it again, I think. It's so hard to pick second. Like, part of me in my head, I'm kind of torn between City and Chelsea. Like,
fancy Chelsea.
We said it last season. Chelsea have got a quality squad. They just had a David Brent managing them. So now they've got Xabi Alonso. They're making some signings, saying like they could be a surprise, like we were with one game a week. But they've got the right manager for the whole season, assuming I think he's a quality manager. So they just have a slight worry. And then the only reason I keep City in second, even though I don't think it's going to be much of a race, is what I'm getting at. I think Arsenal will probably win it quite comfortably, and then City will be the best of the rest, mainly because of Haaland just guarantees goals, and they've still got a very good squad. I just don't know how much of a title fight there'll be. And then if I've not got, I'll go Arsenal, City, United, Chelsea.
Right. I'm going to go Arsenal, unfortunately, to win it again. City, us, and then I think Liverpool maybe will sneak into that top four as well. I think Chelsea will be there and thereabouts, but I just don't know if this is the season where they're going to kind of romp it. I think they'll have some good results, but maybe some kind of strange results as well for me.
Yeah, I think Liverpool might have a bit of a wobbly season again.
Yeah, okay.
Like with Iriola, like from what I've read, like he came out and said they can only play his style for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I think when you look back at when he joined Bournemouth, like they were awful to begin with. And then eventually they got system and got the fitness up to play his style, and then they started doing well. So if they follow that same pattern and they stick with him through that bad patch, it might be too much to catch up potentially, like when they do start playing well.
Yeah.
So that's why I think they'll finish 19th.
And I hope you're right. I'm just a little bit worried about Isak having a bit more time now and coming back and scoring.
Yeah, true.
We kind of forget about him. But yeah, if they finish 19th, I'll be chuffed. Champions League, Chaz, we'll obviously do some specials on Champions League. I'm very excited to be back, but I'll ask you now in this, so we've got it all in one place. Where are we finishing in the Champions League?
I would like to get to at least the quarters.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like, again, if we make those few signings, I think we've got a squad that can compete. And then with this new kind of table structure we've not played in before, I think there's enough quality there for us to get through to those next rounds. So yeah, I'd say quarters, and then you never know when she gets to that sort of stage. But like, obviously it's a pre-season friendly, but we looked good against kind of PSG. We looked good against Atletico. So there's like, we may suit that sort of game more, is what I'm getting at, than some of these kind of lower kind of mid-tier Premier League teams who are kind of a bit more physical. So yeah, what about you?
Snap. No, I think quarterfinal as well. I'm just so excited to have the music back at Old Trafford. Obviously, we used to take it for granted, and definitely won't be taking it for granted this season. So, yeah, obviously, I'm more focused on the Premier League and excited to be back in the Champions League. So, yeah, I think a quarterfinal would be a good run. And then, like you say, let's see how we go. Last question, Chaz. Player of the season?
It's hard not to say Bruno, but I'm going to try not to say Bruno every time. So I'm going to go Cunha.
Nice. Okay, that's a good one. Yeah, it's so difficult not to say Bruno. I think he's just going to have another Bruno season, hopefully, and hopefully he can stay injury-free. I've got a sneaky feeling that like Brian Mbeumo is going to maybe carry on his pre-season form and actually get quite a few goals for us this season. Don't necessarily think he'll be player of the season, but I think he could be a decent season for him. Who's my player of the season going to be? I might go Tielemans. I think he might make that much of an impact.
That's what I was going to say as well. That was my other one.
Yeah, I think
he was my second choice. Behind Bruno, obviously.
He might make that much of an impact that he pushes Bruno for it. But yeah, watch the space with Brian as well. But yeah, Chaz, it's back. Football's back. The Premier League's back. United are back. We're back. But let's leave it there for now.
I forgot. Are we not going to? Are we not winning the FA Cup?
Yeah, of course, and the League Cup.
Okay, yeah, just checking. Okay, yeah, just double checking.
I don't want to talk about that in Tasters anymore. Grimsby episodes and getting knocked out of earlier rounds. But obviously, we'll preview all these games and review all these games as always as well. But yeah, I'm just really, really excited to be back and discussing Man United. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Let us know in the comments what you think. Give us your predictions for Hull. Give us your predictions for the season. Where are United going to finish? Who's going to win it? And also your player of the season as well. Reminder, we're on YouTube, we're on Spotify, we're on Apple, we're on all the socials. So get yourself following, liking, subscribing, and we will catch you in the next one.